Hey guys, this is Hayes with CheatSheetPros.com. Today is December 20th, my birthday. So I'm going to do a sheet and show you 6 hot players that you can look at tonight on Prize Picks or Player Props. So let's go ahead and open up the NBA cheat sheet and get started. I'm going to try to make this video short, sweet, to the point. Everybody has a little bit different lines, so Prize Picks may be a little bit different than DK. Some people may water the lines down, some may take alt lines and go up a little bit, but I'm just going to kind of show you how I find the players that I do. Here in our chat, we did see, well, you can see I've posted college hoops, NFL, and NBA if you want to give us a try. You can see a lot of people have had success. This was mine yesterday. I freaking hate Prize Picks. You can see here I hit 3 of 4 and then just missed the Grant PRA. But you can see here some of these other guys, they had, good days and they were hitting their stuff. A lot of people share screenshots, plays. Some people share DFS lineups. Chris had a good day in DFS. We're sharing ladder challenges. So I did my first one yesterday, a ladder challenge. This was it. It was plus 119. I took Jonas, I'm not even going to try to pronounce his last name, double-double. And then I went safe, took Portland, 2 guys, Grant and Anthony, 18 plus points. I could have went 20 plus points and cranked it up to about plus 160, but I wanted to be real kind of easy with it. So I invested 25 up front. It paid a total of $54.90. So I'm going to go ahead and invest $54.90 in my second leg tonight and see what we can do with it. But anyways, just kind of wanted to show you guys the chat. Let me slide this out of the way. So for this video, we're going to talk about player props. And when you open up the NBA cheat sheet, we have all kinds of fun stuff on here. Let me make sure you can see this. Okay. Over here, we have our main tab, which is DFS, projections, hit rates. We have our DVP, where you can see everything. We have our bet tab, where you can see game logs, over-under trends, offensive, defensive rankings, all that good stuff. Here we have props. You can click this little drop down and you can see all these different props on a per game basis. We have our game logs, which we're going to focus on in this video. We have our scoreboard tab if you're doing sports betting, and we basically show the Vegas line. We show what our model is and any edge differences to just kind of help you get started. If you're newer to us, you'll notice I added the percentage columns over the last week, and then I totaled up these last 3 in differences and put a little slash over there for you. The prop tab we're going to focus on in this video, and then we have the leaderboard tab where you can click down and, sort by who's averaging the most over all these fun stats. So anyways, we have a key here, which probably needs to be updated. This was more for DFS, but I left it up there for some people. So we're going to start here looking at props. So when I start off, I open up this DK props tab. Now, I play a little bit of DFS, not all the time because it takes a lot of leg work at the end, and I'm usually exhausted by the time 6 o'clock comes around and I don't want to change lineups. So I do a lot of player props, same game parlays. I sprinkle a little bit on Prize Picks, even though I hate Prize Picks, just because you're getting screwed on the payouts. The payouts are so much better in a sports book, but I understand not everybody has access to a sports book, and Prize Picks might be the only thing that you have access to, and that is perfectly fine. So we are going to focus on these lines. So when we come in here, we're looking at NBA player props. Over here, we have our player name, we have the prop, we have the team and the opponent, and we have the last 5 games for said prop, and then the average. Then this is the DK prop line. Now, I switched from pulling Prize Pick lines to prop lines because Prize Pick lines come out very late and they're just slowly added throughout the day. So when I post the sheet sometime between 8 a.m. and usually 11 a.m., I want to have as many as possible. So DK, DraftKings, they have the most lines available. So I reach out and get all of their points, rebounds, assists, PRA, 3-point shots, all that good stuff, and I pull them in here. Now, Prize Picks usually opens up with the same line, but they are quicker to move the lines if they get a lot of money on one side. So, for example, Clint Capella right here, his prop line for points is 13.5. You can see he's averaging 16.2. He's been over that in 5 straight games. So I would expect this to open on Prize Picks at 13.5, but probably 14.5 by the time the game kicks off. Over here we have our hit rate, which is usually what I sort by, high to low and low to high. I brought in usage rate. so you can kind of get an idea if a player's being used a lot or if it's a higher risk. Here we have the difference, and this is usually between the average and the prop line. Yep, so it's going to be what they averaged over the last 5 in the prop line if you want to sort by difference. And then one of the guys, Ben, in the chat, he's been adding his own column for percentage differences and sorting them high to low, and he calls them his percentage plays, and he gets rid of like the 0.5 and maybe 1.5, the little ones like here, like Clint Capella assist is 0.5. He'd probably kick that one out. But they've been doing really good, and he's had a lot of success with it. So I said, hey, to make your day easier, let's go ahead and add a percentage column. We have the standard deviation, so this tells you how much boom or bust a player is. I think that's the easiest way for me to explain it. So if it's a low standard deviation, there's not a lot of up and down. It's kind of steady eddy. That's kind of a safe spot for them to be. If you're looking at an alt line taking something over, you want to look at something with a high standard deviation. So for example, let's see who this is. So Keegan Murray, you can see here, this is his points prop. 2 games ago, he put up 47, and then 3 games ago, he put up 15. So that's a high standard deviation. So if you graph that, he's going way up, way down. He's kind of all over the place. Now, there's probably a reason for that, but I just put a standard deviation column in there so you can look at it. Now here, 0.45. Now, this is a low standard deviation, and you can see here, this is Mikal Bridges, 3-point shots made. His line's 2.5. He's got 3, 3, 2, 3, 3. Very consistent. That's more of a safe play where you can peg a floor and say, hey, he's almost guaranteed to have 2, and a strong likelihood he'll have 3. So that's a little bit about standard deviation. I'm over here. Here's a little generic projection model we did, just mixing what they're actually averaging and all kinds of other stuff. Here we have an algo. I haven't looked at it recently, but you can sort it high to low. That will help you find the hot players. And then the DVP for said stat. So if you're looking at Embiid points, it's going to look at Minnesota and say, okay, they allow the second least amount of points over the number of games that we're looking at. I usually pull last 2 weeks, last 15 days, but it gives you an idea. A lot of DVP places, it won't show you like rebounds or 3-point shots made. So that's one unique thing that we do have. Now, a lot of these stats you can go dig up on the internet for free. So our premium service, it's 50 cents a day. It's super cheap. It just helps us pay for a lot of the data and tools that we need to put this together. But we're just putting everything here in one spot for you so you can see it all side by side and help with your research. So let's go ahead and get started. So when you see the sheet, it comes out. I usually sort it by hit rate, high to low. There's a few 100% hit rate guys. So the first guy we're going to take a look at is Clint Capella. Let me see if it's going to let me highlight that. All right, so Clint Capella, his points prop, 17, 18, 17, 14, 15. It's 13.5. That feels a little low, so that's one guy that we like. So Atlanta is playing Houston. So I'm going to flip over here to the game logs, and I'm going to go look at this Houston-Atlanta game. And then let's find Clint Capella. We're going to slide over here, and I want to see what his game logs are. Now, what I'm looking for here is I want to see this line here, his field goal attempts. Is he taking a solid amount, or is there a few one-off scenarios? So 7 of 11, 9 of 12, 7 of 12, 6 of 12, 6 of 12. So we could say he's going to take 11 to 12 field goal attempts in the game. That's fair. His points prop is 13.5. So if you're on Prize Picks, I like it to go over. If you're on DK, you can probably get a watered down 10 plus points or 12 plus points at good money, and that just feels like a no-brainer. Also, I would look and see what his double-double prop is. You can see here in 4 of the last 5 games, he's easily double-doubled. He's actually pulling down a ton of boards. And then right here, this hit rate on the DK prop, this is really good if you're flipping through game logs to see hot and cold players. So the blue, those are cold players that are less than 40%. And if it's greater than 60 or 65%, like here we can see Sadiq Bey, PRA, he's hit that 86% of the time over the last 7 games, and you can see what those 7 games look like. So Capella over 13.5 is one that does jump out on me. It won't be on my second ladder leg today, but he is one. The next guy that comes up is Kobe White, and this guy just keeps absolutely smashing. So we'll notice Kobe White is here, and he's also down here as well. So all of his stats are doing really well. So if you're looking at a player, and let me filter this out and just get Kobe White up here. So we're looking at Kobe White. So if you're doing a prop and you don't know which one of these to go with, what I like to do is see, is there one that's hitting more than the other? Well, of course, his PRA prop, it's 100% over the last 5. We'll go look at his game log. It's probably 100% over the last 7 as well. But I'm going to focus on this column right here, this differ, and I want to take the one that has the biggest difference. The reason is, for example, his three-point shots made is 3.5. He's hit it 80% for the last 5. So he's had 2, 4, 4, 5, and 6. So 3.5 to 4. That's a narrow margin. So he's got a difference on his average of 0.7. He's averaging 4.2. His line's 3.5. So that's how we get this differ of 0.7. So yes, he's going over it, but just barely. So if he ended with 3, would you really be shocked? Not me. Kind of the same with his assist. You can see 5.5. He's got a 5. He's got a 4. He's got an 8, 9, 11. So that's a little better. So I would take the assist over the 3-point shots made, unless you know his matchup, he's going to have to take a ton of 3-point shots and he's got a good spot. Then that's when I would lean there. But now when we get over here to his points and his PRA, these have the 2 highest differences here of 6.7 and 3.9. So these are the 2 props I would focus on. I would focus on his points. Sorry, I had a phone call. I'd focus on his points at 22.5, and you can see 24, 22, 26, 27, 33. So he's had a ton of points, and he averages about 3.5 more than what his line is. So that's one I would be interested in. However, his PRA, that's points plus rebounds plus assist prop, is 33.5, and he's averaging 6.7 more. So his PRA prop, we have a little bit more wiggle room. So if I'm going to water something down, I usually go with their points just because we know they're going to score said number of points. PRA is a little bit riskier, and he's playing the Lakers, so he's probably not going to get as many rebounds as he typically would because they're filled with huge guys like Anthony Davis, but that is one I would take a look at. He's averaging almost 40 and his line's 33.5, so that's how I would separate out those two. So Kobe White would be the second player that I would look at. The third player, Embiid, I mean, he's almost a given. He's absolutely been killing his number. It's 33.5, and he's just, it was 29.5 and then 30 and then 30.5, then 31, and now it's up to 33.5. So I would usually water this down on DK and just take 30 plus and lay the juice, mix it together. But look at this, 40, 42, 35, 41, 34. I mean, if you only have access to 33.5 and you want some Embiid action, that's probably one I'm going to go with. I mean, he's been absolutely killing that number. He does have a tougher matchup with Karl Anthony Towns for Minnesota, but I mean, he's almost matchup proof at this point, so that's one that gets out. Now, LeBron, he's been kind of up and down this year, but his assist really jumped out at me this morning, so this is one that I really like. He has a difference of 3.1. Now, a points prop, when you score a bucket, you get 2 points. A 3 is 3 points. So points props, you'll see a bigger difference because you can easily make 2 buckets and boom, all of a sudden you're 4 points over. So when you get into assists and rebounds and these other ancillary stats, when you have a difference, that's a bigger deal. So here, his assist prop is 7.5, which that's a pretty big number, but look at what he's been doing. 25 over the last 2 games, 34 total over the last 3 games. So 11, 14, 9, 11, and 7. So just being able to look at that and be like, boom, I like that. That's pretty good. Now, if you want to go a little further, you can come over here to this DVP. Well, Chicago is allowing the 23rd most assist in the NBA. So you could say, hey, that's a good DVP spot. So he's someone that I would look at. So if you're on Prize Picks, over 7.5 assists, that's pretty solid. Now, if you're on DK and you can take an alt line and get maybe 10 plus at like plus 150, 200, 250, I would really look at that because look, 11, 14, and 11, he's hit it in 3 of 5 games. So you could bet a little bit of money and have a bigger payout if you want to go something like that. Now, if you don't like the LeBron assist, his PRA is kind of the same thing. He's averaging 4.3 more. It's 42.5. It's a little bit higher of a number, but you can see he's easily doing that in most games. So LeBron would be the, 4th player I would look at for props tonight. The 5th player is going to be Aaron Gordon. So he popped up here, and to be honest with you, I haven't kept up with a lot of NBA. I look at a lot of stats, data, but I don't sit around and watch the games every night. So Aaron Gordon popped up here for Denver. His PRA number is only 22.5. That feels low. He's averaging 4.9 more than what his line is. And you can see here 31, 30, 27, and 31 in 4 of the last 5. The one time he did miss it, he had 18, so he was just below that number. So that is one I would take a look at. Now, there could be someone who was out or missed the game that drove that up. So the next thing I would look at is his minutes and make sure they're the same. Actually, let's go ahead and do that. So that's Detroit, Toronto. So we're going to come over here to game logs. I was going to say, instead of telling you what to do it, I can kind of show you what to do. So Detroit, Toronto, and we're going to come over here so we can see him, and we are going to look for Aaron Gordon. Now, Mr. Gordon's right here. These are his game logs. So the one thing I'm looking at is his minutes. So over the last 7, he's averaged 31, 22, 29, 32, 24, 33, 24. So 25 to 30 minutes is pretty consistent for what he does. The next, I'm going to look at like his field goal attempts. 9, 10, 9, 13, 10. Pretty consistent over the last 5 games. This could have been a one-off game. Not sure what happened, but he's got 5 consistent games. And then these are his raw projections. So he's projected for 30 minutes. He's averaging 28.3. That's fair. He's averaging 16 points. He's projected for 12. Now, for projections, I don't like those, and I don't look at them a lot just because it's like their season average divided by the number of games. And then if they have a good opponent, bad opponent, they have a small percentage, they bump them up or down. They're very, very generic. I haven't found anyone that has solid projections. But a DK point prop of 13.5, you can see he's been doing really well on that. His PRA is 22.5, and he's been getting over that in 4 of the last 5 games. So that's someone that does jump out that I would take a look at. And again, his projected minutes are the same as what he's been averaging. So pretty consistent, and he's been hitting that number. So that's one that jumps out. Points, you can see here, we got a difference of 2.9, but his PRA, we have a difference of 4.9. So I would lean to his PRA, his points plus rebounds plus assist, and he would be the 5th player that I would take a look at. Bruce Brown is the next one that pops out, but the reason I really don't like him is he has a real low usage number. You can see Aaron Gordon does too, but Bruce Brown is one of the guys where he's not a top scorer on the floor, and he can kind of be all over the place. He's got a higher standard deviation than Aaron Gordon, so he's a little bit more up and down. And then we flip over here, we get Capella. Then we have some more Kobe White props, but the next guy that jumps out that I really want to look at is Colin Sexton, and we're going to look at his game logs. So here we see his points, rebounds, assists, and 3-point shots made are all hitting at an 80% clip. They've all hit in 4 of the last 5 games, so that really jumps out. And when we're looking at the difference, I want to come over here. We're going to look at this difference column. Now, the top one's got the most difference. That's points. That's obvious. So 21.5, that's a good line because 22 is a solid number. 27, 28, 27, 26, he's consistently 26 plus points. And when he did miss it, he had 20 points. So I want to look at his field goal attempts and see how many he's averaging. His points, rebounds, assists, he's not as different, but these are a lot more consistent at 30.5, and he's pretty much 30 plus, and he was just barely under that when he did miss. The other thing that jumps out at me that I notice on all of these is when he hits one, he hits the other 2. So all overs, and then when he missed one, he missed the other 2. So if you see something like that, don't worry about it as much like, oh, should I take his points or his PRA? Because honestly, if he misses one, this tells me he's likely to go ahead and miss the other one as well. Some players you'll see where they'll hit the points. I'm trying to think of a good one off the top of my mind. Someone who's a pure scorer, but they don't get a lot of rebounds and assists. Can't think of someone off the top of my head. But anyway, Sexton's one I want to take a look at. So Utah, Cleveland, we're going to go over and take a look at these game logs, and then we are going to wrap this video up and send you on your way. So Utah, Cleveland, Sexton, here he is. So in the chat, I had posted Sexton was on one of my plays. I think I posted a 5-legger. 4 of them hit, 1 of them missed. Sexton did hit, but the question was, Lauri Markkanen was back. Why do you still like Sexton points? So here's a good example. So I think it was probably this game on 12-18. And so what I said is hey, go here to the sheet. I said Lauri Markkanen played these 2 games. You can see they were on the court at the same time. Markkanen had 18 and 23 points. Sexton took 18 field goal attempts, 10 of 18 both nights, 28 and 26 points, and I think I had him 18 plus points. So yes, even though Markkanen, or however you say his name, is back, yes, I still like Sexton because even with him on the floor, he is still taking a large number of field goal attempts. Now, if these other 3 games where he wasn't on the floor would have been 18, and then these 2 games here, he would have shot 10, 11, 12 hoops, I would have said, hey, step back a minute, let's see what happens, because he's not taking as many field goal attempts with him on the floor. However, that's not the case, so we do like this to go over. This line is slowly going to climb. He's been doing really well with it. You can see here he's got a points prop of 21.5. And in the last 4 games, 27, 28, 27, 26. And 3 of those 4, Markkanen's been on the floor. So not really worried about that. I like his points prop. And I love these 18.5 to 21.5 lines, because on DK, you can water these down to 15 plus. And for someone like him, I mean, it feels like almost a lock. Now, over here in these 2 games, you'll notice that he didn't hit. But look, he only played 18 and 18 minutes. So I don't know if he was just getting up into shape or someone else was in, what it was. But you can see he went from 18-18 to 26 minutes, and he had 20 points in 26 minutes. So that was really good. 7 of 13, that's pretty solid. But then these last 4 games, I would say, okay, he's in shape now. He's ready to go. 30, 32, 33, and 35 minutes. So he's projected for 32 minutes, which we can see right here. So I'd say, yeah, he's going to play 30 minutes, and he's going to score, looking at these 4 games, I would say 26 to 28 points. So 21.5, he can miss a couple field goals and still hit that number. So I would say he's almost a lock for 15 plus, 18 plus. But if you're on Price Picks where you get 21.5, I would also take that and go over, because he's someone that looks really good. Anyways, back to my spiel. So these sheets are posted usually in the morning. I try to get them up between 8 a.m. and 11 a.m. The player log file, it has over 4,000 lines of player logs that we go out and get. And sometimes that file will run in 2 hours and grab everything. Sometimes it takes 5 hours. It really just depends, but I try to start at about 6 in the morning. So sometimes I get done by 8:30, 9 o'clock, and I get the sheet posted. Sometimes it's closer to lunch. So that's the reason for that. I also update this sheet almost every single day between 4 and 4:30 Central Time. So lock is usually 6 o'clock. So 90 minutes before lock is usually when I try to get it posted. Typically when I'm working, I usually shut down about 4 o'clock and I go right to the NBA sheet, update it 4:15. I have it up. If I'm out running around and I get home at 4:15, I've usually got it up by 4:30. The one time I don't post an update is on 1 or 2 Sundays a month. I've got a poker league that I play in, and I'll post when I do the morning sheet like, hey, this won't be updated, or I'll just try to get an earlier update in. But if you're looking for any props, these are the 6 players that I like tonight on December 20th. Capella, Kobe White, Embiid, LeBron, Aaron Gordon, and Colin Sexton. And again, I'm going to roll over my ladder challenge to tonight. I don't know what I'm going to get, but I'm sure I'll have it posted later on. And anyways, hope you guys like this video. I hope it explained a lot to you. And again, we have a free group that we post these in on Thursday, and we have a premium group where we post them twice a day, every day, and do other sports. So if you have any questions, hit me up and have a good day.